Hey, good evening, everyone. Fred Shropshire here with WCNC Charlotte, and I'm joined by Alex Shabbat, one of our defenders here, and we're talking Where's the Money? We've been doing this series for a long time now, and it's even more pertinent with everything going on with the economy and the COVID-19 pandemic. Alex, you have a story tonight at 11 on WCNC Charlotte. We've talked to a lot of people who have had issues getting relief from the economy and during this pandemic. We've done a lot of stories in North Carolina, but you have a woman in a story from South Carolina that's a bit different tonight.
Yeah, good to see you, Fred. And yeah, this one's a little bit different because we've done extensive reporting in North Carolina, but this time we're talking about South Carolina's unemployment system, and specifically a 62-year-old woman who's had an added challenge in addition to a woman who really is facing a technology gap. She doesn't have a computer. It's been for her, not only dealing with accessing her unemployment account or finding time to do things when she doesn't have a computer, but also she's on the job search right now to make up for the income she's lost, and that's a struggle too, as we all know. I mean, a computer is part of our everyday life, and without it, that's quite the impact. So really, the story is about any people out there who may be in a similar situation with a technology gap, and how it really leaves them behind in the pandemic, which has already put many people at a disadvantage. So this is a woman who was a gig worker, which basically she did transportation for students. She did childcare, just a variety of jobs as a gig worker. She did cleaning of homes, and she said her job took a major hit in March, just like we've seen a lot of other jobs taking a hit. Said she lost like 60 to 70% of her income. Wow. So come a couple months later, she applied for the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, which is meant for people who've been directly impacted by the pandemic. Closed down. That had a major impact on her, but she got and the officials there determined that it was not due directly to the public health emergency. So she disagreed with that finding and was very surprised and frustrated by that. And despite that, she pushed on and has continued to look for a job, but gone to job fairs, she's told us. But again, with the thing that she doesn't have without a computer and without really having some of the technology skills that are required in this day and age, it's quite a transition from the job she was doing as a gig worker, and she really wants to improve herself. So we're hoping the best from her. We wanted to share her story and hope something positive comes out of that for her.
And I know she had some unique challenges too. I mean, it's not just the technology gap that she was facing also, but just personal challenges, childcare and other issues that she's had to face as well.
So you broke up a little there in the beginning.
I know this has been a different situation for her. She had other issues that she had to face as well. Childcare, one of the issues.
That's one of the jobs that she was doing, was childcare and driving kids to school. And as we all know, when the pandemic hit, driving kids to school obviously not needed if there's virtual learning, and with all visiting kids or just providing childcare was not needed. So that was a significant reason why she lost her income. And just to hit on the point about technology again, I mean, I can mention that even the fact that when we were trying to do a Zoom interview with her, that was quite a challenge. It took probably 3 or 4 times. Wow. And several hours just to get the interview with her. She had to drive to a friend's house and they helped her do the interview. But just that gives you a kind of a snapshot into it. And really the challenge is just to do a Zoom interview for our story. So she's really trying to make it in this time where
I'm wondering also, I see common issues and a lot of the same kind of problems with people when they try to fill out the applications and the process. What are some of the common things and some of the common mistakes that you're seeing that ring true in this story?
Yeah, and this woman, we don't know of any, mistake that she necessarily made, but some of the errors I've seen in the past are, not even necessarily by the person who's filing the claim, but sometimes it's an employer that makes a mistake. It can be, minor errors on the part of the claimant as well, and sometimes little errors can cause delays. In this case, this woman isn't really sure why her claim was denied. I do want to mention that if you tune in tonight at 11, there was a major change to her claim that I would like people to tune in for and see. And so actually, she was surprised to see her claim was denied because she thought she did everything right, and she thought her situation fit in with the pandemic unemployment assistance program, exactly what it's supposed to be doing. By the way, you can go to our website, WCNC.com. We should have our web story about this up already. And there's a link on that web story that has all these resources in South Carolina for where you can go to improve your skills with technology. And maybe it's that you just don't have access to Wi-Fi. Those locations you can go for Wi-Fi to improve your skills. We have a link for that on our website on WCNC.com. There's also another part of the website, WCNC.com/money, where we kind of walk you through the process of what it's like, different terms that you may not have heard of when you're going through the unemployment system. So that's all on there on our website on WCNC.com. You can find our story, and WCNC.com/money to find different tips and helpful information.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you, Alex, is I'm standing here thinking about this. This is a South Carolina story. We've covered numerous North Carolina stories. What is the, if any, differences in terms of the response from the state and people who are applying in South Carolina versus people who are applying for aid in North Carolina? Were people seeing more issues in North Carolina? Was it due to the population? What does that picture look like with people needing help in South Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, so far, just based on the stories I've covered, it seems like we've dealt with a lot of demand in North Carolina. As far as that's been the bulk of what we've been covering for stories. I mean, I'd say this is probably the first South Carolina story I personally have covered in weeks, if not ever, since this pandemic began. And, time after time, we're doing North Carolina, and we've been hearing stories in North Carolina about people not being able to access their accounts and not getting a hold of a representative and various problems. In this case, the state was pretty responsive to, at least to me as a journalist, when I was reaching out to them and getting back, and we were communicating. I was communicating pretty clearly with the state in South Carolina claim, and I was trying to facilitate some communication there. And what may be missing in between. And so it was pretty responsive on the part of the South Carolina officials. And I feel like I can't say for sure based on data what the demand's like in South Carolina, because I haven't investigated or looked into that. But just based anecdotally on what I've covered, we haven't. This is unusual compared to the other stories I've covered, which have been the vast majority in North Carolina. And this woman also hasn't expressed any major problems necessarily with getting through that I know of, in the same way that it's happened in and
All right. Well, we're certainly looking forward to hearing your story tonight. Again, Alex's story is tonight at 11, our Where's the Money series, our defenders showing you stories of people in our area who are still having issue. And a lot of times, most times, we come to conclusions and resolve helping a lot of people out. So you definitely want to tune into that story tonight in our 11 o'clock newscast on WCNC Charlotte. And we're going to have also our link up on our website, always, WCNC.com/money. that walks you through the process and gives you a lot of tools and helpful information if you are having issue in this process. Alex, thank you. Always excellent work, and people are always chiming in and giving a lot of great feedback on things we're learning from your reporting. So I'm looking forward to seeing the story, and I hope that everyone out there will join us tonight at 11.
Thanks so much, Fred. I appreciate it, and good talking to you. And we'll talk to you later.